Welcome to the basic food safety training for food handlers. Under the law, food handlers must obtain health certificates from the local health office prior to employment. And as a prerequisite to obtaining their health certificates, food handlers are required to undergo basic food safety training.
Who are the food handlers?
By definition, a food handler is any person who handles, stores, prepares, serves food, drinks, or ice, or who comes in contact with any eating or cooking utensils and food vending machines. As a person who handles food, whether you're a cook, a kitchen hand, a food process worker, shop assistant, or a waiter, you have an important responsibility to handle food safely. Improperly handled food may cause illness, disability, or even death. You have responsibilities when preparing and serving food to other people. Protect your customers, your business, and yourself by following the rules of food safety in your workplace and by learning and practicing the safe food handling techniques to be presented later in this video. Now let's get you started quickly on food safety.
What is foodborne illness and what causes it?
Food is essential for health and well-being, but it may also be a cause for sickness. This sickness is called foodborne illness and is caused by harmful germs or poisons present in food. Every year, billions of people experience one or more episodes of foodborne illness without ever knowing that their illness was caused by eating contaminated food. The symptoms depend on the cause of the illness. Symptoms may occur very quickly after eating the food or may take days or even weeks to appear. For most foodborne illnesses, symptoms occur 24 to 72 hours after the food has been eaten. However, can also happen in less than 24 hours. The most common symptoms of foodborne illness are stomach pains, vomiting, and diarrhea. Foodborne illness can lead to long-term health problems. Very severe illnesses including cancer, arthritis, and neurological disorders can be caused by contaminated food. For infants, the sick, pregnant women, and the elderly, the consequences of foodborne illness are usually more severe and more often fatal.
We mentioned earlier that germs are one of the causes of foodborne illness. But what are germs?
Germs are very small organisms, so small that they cannot be seen with the naked eye. Not all germs are harmful. Some are even useful and can even be used to make food and drinks, make medicine, and help digest food. Some germs may not make people sick, but they cause our food to smell bad, taste horrible, and look disgusting. Harmful or disease-causing germs make people sick and can even kill. Most of these germs do not change the appearance of the food. Harmful germs such as bacteria, viruses, molds, and parasites are the most important cause of foodborne illness. Bacteria are generally most important. Germs are everywhere, but are mostly found in feces, in soil and water, in rats, mice, insects, and pests, in domestic, marine, and farm animals, and in people. Hands are one of the most common means of moving germs from one place to another. Germs can also be spread through contaminated food and water, equipment, and utensils. Insects and pests such as rats, flies, and cockroaches can introduce the germs into food. Pets and domestic animals can also be a source of contamination. Most germs grow by multiplication. To illustrate, one bacterium can become 2 in just 15 minutes, which means that within 5 hours, one bacterium can multiply to over 1 million. To multiply, germs need food, water, time, and warmth. High-risk foods are those that provide these ideal conditions for germs to grow. These include meat, seafood, cooked rice, cooked pasta, milk, cheese, and eggs.
Did you know that germs are not the only cause of foodborne illness?
People also get sick from poisonous chemicals, which include natural toxins, metals and environmental pollutants, chemicals used for treating animals, improperly used pesticides, chemicals used for cleaning, and improperly used food additives. When canned goods are damaged, leaking, bulging, or dented, it's best to throw them away. It may contain toxins that are fatal when eaten. When you feel sick, you should not work with food. The germs making you sick may be spread to the food and other people. Tell your supervisor or the person in charge if you are sick. Do not work or handle food if you have a fever and sore throat, have loose bowels, are throwing up, have yellowing of the skin or dark tea-colored urine, have continual sneezing, coughing, or runny nose, have diagnosed infections that can be spread through food such as Salmonella, Shigella, E. coli, or hepatitis A, have an infected boil, cut, burn, or sore on the hand or wrist. However, food may be handled if the injury is covered with a clean bandage and a latex-free glove. By now, you have a fair understanding of what causes foodborne illness. As a food handler, how can you prevent or lessen the occurrence of foodborne illness? You can stop germs from making you and other people sick by following the 5 keys to safer food. The 5 keys are: 1. Keep clean. 2. Separate raw and cooked. 3. Cook thoroughly. 4. Keep food at safe temperatures. And use safe water and raw materials.
Key 1. Keep clean.
While most germs do not cause disease, harmful germs are widely found in soil, water, animals, and people. These germs are carried on hands, wiping cloths, and utensils, especially cutting boards, and the slightest contact can transfer them to food and cause foodborne illnesses. To prevent germs from getting into food, you should wash your hands before handling food and often during food preparation. Wash your hands after using the toilet. Wash and sanitize all surfaces and equipment used for food preparation. And protect kitchen areas and food from insects, pests, and other animals. Food handlers, even if they look and feel healthy, may accidentally spread harmful germs to food if they do not have good hygiene. Food handlers with good personal hygiene help keep germs from getting into food. Personal hygiene may be a sensitive topic, but still, it is vital to food safety. As food handlers, you should wash your hands regularly and bathe daily. You should wear clean clothes on the job and must not travel to and from work wearing your work clothes. To keep hands out of hair and hair out of food, wear hairnets, hats, or caps, but they should secure hair properly. Jewelry can hide germs that cause foodborne illness and make it hard to wash hands and can also fall into food. Never wear jewelry. While preparing food, remove watches, rings, necklaces, bracelets, earrings, and all the other jewelry on the arms or hands. Good personal hygiene starts with the hands. Clean hands are the most important food safety tool. But just because your hands look clean, don't mean they don't have germs on them. Trim your fingernails so they are easy to clean. If you wear nail polish, you must wear gloves when preparing all types of foods, not just ready-to-eat foods. Hand washing gets rid of the germs on the hands that can make people sick. It is important to wash your hands often throughout the day, even when they look clean. Food handlers must know when and how to wash their hands. To wash your hands, you should
Wet hands under running water. Then rub hands together for at least 20 seconds with soap.
Many people wash their hands improperly. They do not use soap or wash only part of their hands. When washing hands, pay attention to fingertips, fingernails, thumbs, wrists, and in between fingers.
After that, rinse hands under running water and then dry hands thoroughly with a clean dry towel, preferably a paper towel.
You should wash your hands before handling food and often during food preparation, before eating, after using the toilet, after handling raw meat or poultry, after blowing your nose, after handling rubbish, and after handling chemicals, including those used to clean. Many unhygienic habits appear harmless until you remember how easily harmful bacteria are spread. Here are some bad habits that should be avoided. You should never pick your nose or wipe your nose on a sleeve, spit, chew gum in food preparation areas, taste food by dipping fingers or use an unwashed spoon, scratch any part of your body, cough or sneeze over food, take breaks in food rooms, and touch hair. The direct handling of high-risk food should be avoided whenever possible. Even when food handlers wash their hands well, they are not allowed to touch ready-to-eat foods with their bare hands. This is to keep germs that might remain on the hands from getting onto ready-to-eat foods. Single-use gloves may be used to prepare foods that need to be handled a lot, such as when making sandwiches, slicing vegetables, or arranging food on a platter. Cleaning and sanitizing are not the same. Cleaning uses soap and water to remove dirt and food from surfaces, while sanitizing uses chemicals or heat to kill germs. It is important to remember that surfaces that look clean may still have germs on them that you can't see. Sanitizing reduces these germs to safer levels. When cleaning plates and utensils, you should
Scrape excess food into rubbish bin. Wash in hot water with detergent, using a clean cloth or brush to remove leftover food and grease. Rinse in clean hot water. Sanitize utensils with boiling water or with a sanitizing solution. And leave dishes and cooking utensils to air dry or wipe with a clean dry cloth.
In general, one should do the following. Clean while preparing food, so germs do not have a chance to grow. Pay special attention to eating, drinking, and cooking utensils that touch raw food or the mouth. Sanitize cutting boards and utensils after they have been in contact with raw meat or seafood. And one should not forget to clean and dry the cleaning equipment, as germs grow fast in damp places. Pests are rats, mice, birds, cockroaches, flies, and other insects. They can transfer harmful germs onto food and kitchen surfaces. Pests are attracted to places where food is stored, prepared, sold, served, or thrown away, and to where there is warmth and shelter. Dogs and cats also carry germs and pests such as fleas and ticks on their feet, fur, and feathers. Care should be taken to prevent pests and stray animals from getting into food preparation areas. To keep food safe from pests, remember to keep food covered or in closed containers. Keep rubbish bins covered and remove rubbish regularly. Keep food preparation areas in good condition by repairing wall cracks or holes. Use baits or insecticides to kill pests. And keep stray animals away from food preparation areas.
Key 2. Separate raw and cooked.
Raw food, especially meat, poultry, and seafood, and their juices, can contain harmful germs which may be transferred onto other foods during food preparation and storage. Keeping raw and cooked or prepared food separate prevents the transfer of germs. Cross-contamination is a term used to describe the transfer of germs from raw to cooked food. To separate raw from cooked simply means to prevent cross-contamination. To prevent cross-contamination from happening, you must separate raw meat, poultry, and seafood from other foods. Use separate equipment and utensils such as knives and cutting boards for handling raw foods. And you must store food in containers to avoid contact between raw and prepared foods. You should practice keeping raw and cooked food separate. In the refrigerator, you could store raw meat, seafood, and poultry below cooked or ready to eat foods to avoid cross contamination. You should store food in containers with lids to avoid contact between raw and cooked or prepared foods. And always wash plates used for raw food and use a clean plate for cooked foods.
Key 3. Cook thoroughly.
Proper cooking kills almost all harmful germs. Studies have shown that cooking food to a temperature of 70 degrees centigrade can help ensure it is safe for consumption. Foods that require special attention include minced meats, rolled roasts, large joints of meat, and whole poultry. Cook food completely from the inside out. Food must reach a temperature of 70 degrees centigrade in order to ensure it is safe to eat. A temperature of 70 degrees centigrade kills even high concentrations of germs within 30 seconds. You should use a thermometer to check that foods reach 70 degrees centigrade. Cook food thoroughly, especially meat, poultry, eggs, and seafood. Bring foods like soups and stews to boiling to make sure they have reached 70 degrees centigrade. Keep them boiling for at least 1 minute. For meat and poultry, make sure the juices are clear, not pink. Ideally, you should use a thermometer. Thermometers are placed in the center of the thickest part of the meat, avoiding contact with bone or the side of the container. Also, reheat cooked food thoroughly.
Key 4. Keep food at safe temperatures.
Safe temperatures for food lie outside what we call the danger zone. The danger zone is a temperature range of 5 degrees centigrade to 60 degrees centigrade in which germs multiply very fast. By holding at temperatures below or above the danger zone, the growth of germs is slowed down or stopped. Refrigeration slows bacterial growth. However, even when food is stored in the refrigerator or freezer, germs can grow. Room temperature, on the other hand, is within the danger zone. To keep food safe, you should keep it out of the danger zone. It is very important that you follow these rules. Do not leave cooked food at room temperature for more than 2 hours. Refrigerate promptly all cooked and perishable food, preferably below 5 degrees centigrade. Keep cooked food very hot prior to serving. Do not store food too long, even in the refrigerator. Do not thaw frozen food at room temperature.
Key 5. Use safe water and raw materials.
Raw materials, including water and ice, may be contaminated with harmful germs and chemicals. Toxic chemicals may be formed in damaged and moldy foods. Care in selection of raw materials and simple measures such as washing and peeling should be practiced to reduce risk. When using food, a food handler must take extra care to use safe, potable water, select fresh and wholesome foods, choose foods processed for safety, such as pasteurized milk, wash fruits and vegetables, especially if eaten raw, and do not use food beyond its expiry date. You've just been shown the 5 keys to safer food. It is very important to follow the 5 keys to safer food because proper food handling is the key to the prevention of foodborne illness. Now let's review what you've just learned. The first key to safer food is keeping clean. Personal hygiene and workplace cleanliness fall under this key. The second key is separating the raw from the cooked. It is concerned with the prevention of cross-contamination. Next is cooking thoroughly. This emphasizes the need to cook food completely from the inside out at a temperature of 70 degrees centigrade. The fourth key is keeping food at safe temperatures. You must keep food out of the danger zone, which is between 5 to 60 degrees centigrade. And finally, the fifth key is using safe water and raw materials. This requires you to use food and water that is free from germs and poisons.
Local food safety laws. You may find information on food safety laws in the Philippine Code on Sanitation. Chapter 3 of this document deals with food establishment and contains relevant information about the duties and responsibilities of food handlers. You may view this document online directly or download it from the Department of Health website. You may also consult your city or municipal health codes and relevant ordinances on food safety.
Everybody now, do you know how to wash your hands? Show me!
Basain, basain, tapos papulain sa taas, sa baba, sa gitna ng daliri. Kuskus dito, kuskus doon, daliri mo'y isa-isahin. Dahan-dahan, lagi mong tagalan. Kuskus, 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 pwede nang banlawan.
Remember, whenever